The world is changing.
The world is changing.
I guess procedurally generated would be the word. Sprites. Today's show and tell. Back when I was a little squirt, we had these. This is a cassette player. It's a Walkman. A brief moment of time where I had a CD Walkman. That didn't work out well. It's called that because you could put in your headphones and you go down, walking down the street, listening to your jams, whatever your jam is. So I love listening to music and then walking to the beat of the music. I know, it's like, I like music. What a weird guy. Whatever your pace is, if you're walking, you're jogging, and you can approximate close to whatever the rhythm of the song you're listening to is, then always walk on that beat. Somebody made a game of it, and it's called Crypt of the Necrodancer. And then they went to Nintendo, just like, hey, could we borrow one of your characters? And Nintendo was like, you know what? You can have a game. Why don't you just make a game? What was the result? Cadence of Hyrule. Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda. So they took that idea, they took a love of Zelda, bam, and made the perfect mashup. The art style. So this year, first time ever, I played Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, and I played it. This is not product placement, nor am I getting paid for anything, but this is a BitBoy. And if you're gonna play retro games that you own, this is it's a little Game Boy. Listen when I turn it on. Listening? Minish Cap. Beautiful Zelda game. Wonderful, beautiful little sprites, like updated versions of the old NES and SNES games. And actually, I like them so much, I used them for the very first episode that was ever on this channel. It was a concept for what Zelda might look like on the iOS game that was supposed to come in 2019 or whenever. That was well over a year ago, and here we are, mobile Zelda-less. But in my concept, I was looking through Zelda sprites and I picked the Minish Cap one. It was just the one that I liked the best. But even though it's got like a 16-bit retro look, it still feels like a modern game. Best way I can compare it, if you've played Sonic Mania, like what that game is to Sonic's 1, 2, and 3, that's what this is, except for the fact that this is like a totally new animal when it comes to the gameplay. Brave New World. So the world of this game changes. Every time you start a new game, the world is changing.
The world is changing.
I guess procedurally generated would be the word, but it is, and it's great because it's a new experience every time. It's a relatively shorter game, so it's got great replayability, and they've added characters, which is always fun. The pause menu reminds me of Flight of the Conchords, the very first beats of the theme to Flight of the Conchords. That was a fun show. I knew those guys way back when, long before Jermaine was in Moana, and Brett was in Lord of the Rings and writing good songs for a terrible Muppet movie. That's my hot controversial take, is that the most recent Muppet movies suck, especially compared to Muppet Treasure Island. That's it. There are a lot of games where when you hit pause, it brings the volume of the music down, you know, just to kind of like let you know, like, oh, the game's still on. Whenever you're ready, you're just gonna jam here. This game not only lowers the volume, but it lowers the bit rate. It's so cool because it goes from like modern electronic music to vintage chiptune sounds, and in a game that already looks like it fits, it's glue. Sloppy, sticky glue. Let's talk about guitars. I love guitars, probably as much as I love coffee and games. All right, trip down memory lane here. Let's look at this. Okay, this is a big book, and I am not prepared. So, through the magic of editing, the TriCaster, a thrown-out concept of a guitar. Musical instruments have been a big part of Zelda, at least since Link's Awakening. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, but I think Link's Awakening was the first one where instruments were really an integral part. And of course, Ocarina of Time, there's a titular instrument that none of my friends had ever heard of before that game. And still, if you hear Ocarina, I think a time machine. You cannot separate a DeLorean or an ocarina from time. So yeah, they got that concept that they threw out but maybe they'll revisit someday. Kind of like a Gibson Flying V, but it's a TriCaster, Triforce TriCaster. That's fun, but this is what I want to show you. This is Nintendo Power, January 2001 edition. It's themed by a franchise which neither Disney nor Sony will allow me to name. Let's say it involves a classy Spider-Man. This is the Zora guitar, a 7-string replica of the guitar from Majora's Mask. And this thing was legit, like you could play it. Somebody out there won it. This is perforated right there because I tried to win it, but I didn't. You ever notice that thing in shows and movies where somebody is singing to a diegetic song, and even the people that you know can sing and that have rhythm are always getting off the rhythm? Show a bunch of examples here. My prediction is that that's because for recording purposes, you know, they want to capture good sound so they don't have the actual playback of thing. They probably play it back for them, get it in their head, like, okay, here's the key, here's the rhythm. They stop the playback and then people just have to wing it. Unless you're George Michael Bluth and have incredible timing, then you'll probably stray from the rhythm. I mean, it's clear that the people who made this game loved music, they loved Zelda, and they put that into a wonderful experience for us that costs less than the Link's Awakening remake. So, play it, jam to it. It's good times. Bum bum bada bum bum, bum bum bada bum.